we're going to be talking about interspecies telepathic communication with your animals and how it works and how you're already doing it. What do you think about that? So please feel free to put your answer in the comments. So what the heck is interspecies telepathic communication exactly? Do you know? And did you know that all beings communicate with each other using this silent language that we call, wait for it, interspecies telepathic communication? It's the silent universal language. Have you ever wondered what your animal companion is trying to tell you? Of course you have. I do sometimes too. But, so let me know. Have you? Have you not? Please write in the comments. I'd love to hear whatever it is that you've experienced or how you feel about this topic. It's so important. And if you would like to continue talking about and joining me for topics just like this, please hit the subscribe and like and ring that bell so you can get notifications of when the next, newest, best, greatest thing about our animal companions is available. So, moving right along, I'm so excited. We have a lot of new people here at the cafe, so I want to welcome you. Please write new in the comments below, or maybe they're over there, depending on the device that you're on. And if you don't know me, my name is Janet Dobbs of Animal Paradise Communication and Healing, and we're going to be talking about interspecies telepathic communication. What the heck is it, right? So take a moment, just a second. Check out this picture. What do you notice? What grabs your attention first? The dogs, the cats, or can you just look at the picture and see everybody? Just notice who's here. So notice there's lots of different species, right? Interspecies telepathic communication. So communicating, what do you think it means? I'd love for you to share in the comments. But we've got dogs and cats and bunnies and birds and snakes. You know what's missing here, though? I don't understand. They left out horses in this picture. So we need to include all of the animals interspecies telepathic communication. So I'm really going to break this down for you guys. I don't know if you've ever really thought about it in depth, interspecies telepathic communication. So starting with interspecies, existing, occurring between species. So notice we have dogs and cats in this picture, and just kind of connect with them. See who you connect with. But inter means between or among. So does that kind of maybe make sense now? And species, a group of individuals with common characteristics or qualities. So interspecies, between the different species. So we have dogs as a species, right? Canines, I guess. There's probably a scientific term, but we're not going to get into that. We're just going to keep this really simple, light, and fun, because I'm talking about definitions and, how do you make that fun? I know this little kitty says, come on. It can be fun, interspecies. We have all kinds of friends here at the cafe today, and I don't know who's going to just be popping in, but be prepared. You don't know who. I mean, we have all kinds of animals at the cafe, right? So interspecies, of course, at the cafe. So dogs, we have big ones, little ones, medium-sized ones, right? But they're all dogs, so they're all that species. Same with cats, same with every single kind of different species, including what about human beings, right? We come in all shapes, all sizes, all colors, right? We even speak different languages. Hey, CK, this one's for you. So glad you're here and live too. So welcome to the cafe. And so getting down into the nitty gritty of what interspecies telepathic communication is. So interspecies, existing and occurring between species. Make sense? Telepathic. Have you really thought about what that means? Like, to me, it was like always like woo, 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 woo-woo, but telepathy, telepathic, distant feelings. So tele, at distance or over a distance. So you know other words that start with tele, like telephone. Do you know what telephone means? Bet you didn't know this. It means hearing at a distance. So look, there we go. Telephone, talk on the telephone. Hi, and somebody's in the next room or somebody's around the world. We're hearing at a distance. Telepathy, pathic, means feeling, sensitivity, or perception. So telepathy is feeling over a distance, not talking over a distance, not hearing over a distance, feeling. So what do you mean feeling? Like physical touches? Well, that could be part of it, but it's, that perception, that sensitivity, that feeling. I just have a feeling. I just kind of know. I don't know why, but I just know. So telepathic is feeling over a distance. Communication, sharing of information. And I added communing because I just like that word, commune. And I like this picture of this kitty because the kitty's kind of saying it all. The kitty is tucked in this beautiful scene, and he's just being. He's communing with nature, with his surroundings, right? So let's put this all to, so communication though, as we know, it's sharing information. So interspecies telepathic communication is communication, feeling at a distance between the species. So does that make a little bit of sense? Say yes or no. Or if you have a question about this, like, what? No, that made it even worse. I don't get it. Yeah, I never did either, CK. That was like, oh, hi, Marcus. Welcome to the cafe. So yeah, kind of getting into the technical stuff, because I sometimes like to know a definition. So communication at feeling at a distance amongst different species. So humans are also a species, remember? So it can be between, like the dog and the bird and the snake and the otter, or is it a weasel? I don't know what it is. Anyhow, the bunny and the kitty, or us and any of them. So that's kind of, in a little bitty nutshell, what interspecies telepathic communication means and how does it work. So here we have a kitty holding up a phone to a dog. Okay, he's not really holding it up, but is that how they communicate? Is that how it works? Well, no. So I'm going to get a little technical here. Going back to my days of broadcasting and being the engineer on duty with a transmitter. So this is a transmitter. So imagine and pretend you're listening to the radio or TV. And how do you get that? So there has to be telepathic communication. There has to be a sender and a receiver, a talker and a listener, right? So we're going to use the example, going back to my past, using a transmitter that can be radio or television. So there's a live show, a recording, a something on the radio or TV, and the signal goes up to the transmitter, way up to the top of the tower, and then whoosh, out into the air. It's invisible. Can you see it? Nope. Can you feel it? Hopefully not. But it's there. How do you receive that? Well, you have to get, back in the day, a funny box, a TV with rabbit ears. Do you remember rabbit ears? So you turn on to the channel, let's pretend TV, that you wanted to get, right? So this is kind of like how telepathy works, but we're going to just use this example. You turn the channel on to pretend channel 7, right? And then back in the day, you took those little rabbit ears, and some people remember putting tin foil on it, and then you would fine tune the signal. Ah, I've got it. So telepathy is a little bit like that. Sender, receiver. Let's bring it to modern days. There is a satellite uplink going, and the signal comes from wherever, pretend, radio station, TV station, and then it goes up to a satellite. Whoop! The satellite goes like, ah, got it, and then it bounces it right back down and to wherever it is, and then if it's a TV kind of a thing, or a YouTube or a whatever, you are the receiver. You aren't the receiver. Your TV or your radio or your computer receives the information. And think about this. You do this, most of us do this every single day. We have our daggone cell phones, right? We've got our cell phones. And let's pretend I want to talk to you because I want to talk to you. And I dial your number. The signal goes from your cell phone up to the cell tower, and then who knows, to other cell towers. Might have to go around the world, and poof, it's right back to you. It happens pretty fast, like almost that fast. Not that fast. You can hear the delay. You wait, there's a ring, and there's a thing. But let me tell you something. Telepathy happens faster than that. Telepathy happens that fast. So let's pretend I'm talking to your dog or cat, right? And you wanted to know, what is their favorite food? Okay? So before I can ask silently the dog or cat what their favorite food is, I've already got back a picture in my mind of, say, a chicken, ice cream, whatever their favorite food is. So telepathy happens that fast. And a lot of people that are learning how to do this go like, oh, well, I got that right away. And then we get in our heads and we start trying to figure things out because we analyze everything. But that's another topic. We're just like, what the heck is it? So before we go forward, let me just see what you guys have to say. Oh, yeah, CK. Thanks. How do I do this? I'm learning. So it makes more sense now. Yeah, doesn't it? So when a dog comes and snuggles against me, it's telling you something. Maybe. So if you hug somebody or you're cuddling with somebody, are you necessarily saying something, or are you just kind of being with them? They could be saying something. I love you. I feel comfortable. I want to be with you. Or you can they just want to be with you. And they're happy. Yeah. Marcus, really good question. So you have to tune to receive. Yes. Yeah. So imagine this. Okay. Going on to the next, and I'll get to your question, but remind me. No, you can't. I'm teasing. But yeah, you do have to tune in to receive because, sorry, I got a little funny. I'm being funny here. Because let's imagine that, like CK, you asked me, do you hear the voices in your head? Do I hear the voices? Do you hear voices? Right. But we have to tune in because otherwise you would be hearing every human voice that you're around and that's all over the world or universe, outer space, every animal, every plant, every whatever. You'd be hearing that in your head. So you kind of hopefully tune that out. And then when you're ready to have like dialing up on the telephone, that's the best way is just yes. You have to tune in to receive. That's beautifully, Marcus. I'm going to use that one. So just like, how does this work? So speaking of tuning in, I am always boggled, my mind, not me, my mind is boggled, by the fact of the matter that every single one of us has our own unique fingerprints. How is that possible? There's billions of us, and each one of us has a unique fingerprint. And the same thing with snowflakes. They say that there are no two snowflakes alike, and if that's true, there's bazillions of an endless number of snowflakes. How is that possible? So what about us, all beings? We have this energy field. Some people like to call it our aura, but I like to think of it as that's unique to us, right? I like to think of it as maybe our unique phone number, whatever you want to call it, but it's us. It's us. So the same thing with dogs, cats, horses, plants. Everybody has their own unique signal or number, if you want to call it our own unique number. So if I wanted to talk to, say, that dog, I would kind of dial him up. I would tune into him. There's steps to learning how to do that, but that's just kind of the basics of, we all have our own unique signal. How do you get in touch with them? Well, you tune in that dial. Does that make sense? I hope. So yeah, there's so many. It's just fascinating to me, the science of this. It is real. It's scientific in some ways, and then other ways it's just is. It's just natural. We're born with this ability. As I said in the beginning, it's our birthright. Everybody does this. It's not, you're not necessarily, you don't have to be like this gifted Mozart, the Mozarts of the, not piano, but the music world, right? There's gifted people that are musical geniuses. Same thing with, naturally able to telepathically communicate and receive. But at the same time, everybody can do it. You just have to practice and be aware and open to the possibilities. So as I was saying, interspecies telepathic communication is your birthright. Everybody is born with the ability to do this. So why don't some of us remember? Why don't we know that we're doing it, right? I think that's a good question. Well, let me ask you another question. Have you ever picked up the phone and gone, oh, I was just thinking about you? That's telepathy. So what happened? You're thinking of your friend, they're thinking of you, and somebody took action and picked up the phone and called. But you do this all the time. How about this one? Here's another example, just to prove that you've been doing it, even if you think like, oh, well, I don't communicate with animals. I'm not a professional. I'm not a student. Yep, you do. All of us do. It's nothing magical, nothing woo-woo. Pretend. Like, have you ever been like reading a newspaper? Okay, lots of people aren't reading newspapers now. So you're getting your information from, say, the computer. You're reading, you're reading a book. You're totally absorbed in the best book. Or you're looking at your book on your device. Okay? And you've got blinders on. Nothing else is in your world but whatever it is you're focused on. And all of a sudden, you turn and go, hey, Sparky, you got to go out? And you get up and they run to the door and like, thank God I had to go out. Thank God they listened to me. Have you ever done that before? You do it all the time, right? Or you turn to them and you go, oh, you're hungry? Oh, I'm sorry. It's way past dinner time. Sometimes we totally don't listen, and if you have an animal like a dog, sometimes a cat, cats will do it, but they're like, hello, hello, and they're tapping on your knee, or they're doing all kinds of things to really get your attention, and then you go like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I'll let you out. But that's telepathy, and you do it all the time. Isn't that the coolest thing? Okay, I've got another one. For those people that have babies, the child before they're nonverbal. But let's go back to the baby, nonverbal, right? Except for the cries and the laughs and the giggles. But how does the parent know that that cry is because they are hungry, they want to be changed, they're tired or sleepy? How do they know? The answer is they just know. It's that gut feeling. So have you ever had that gut feeling, that sense of knowing? Do not negate it, please. That's your truth. So getting to your question, CK, about how does it work and do you receive? Do you hear words? Well, there's lots of different ways to receive telepathic communication, and everybody receives in a different way. I like to say your own unique way. When I was first doing this, I didn't know that that was the case. I just knew I couldn't do the way my teachers did, so I must not be able to do it right. But everybody receives in at least one way really well, and there's several ways that you can receive information. So let's have an example here. One of the main ways that many people receive is you receive a still picture in your mind or a movie. So this woman is outside and she's communicating with this horse. The horse is in snow and it's galloping in the snow. So you can either receive a still picture, just like what's over here, like what she has. Or you might see a movie. Well, I like to call it a movie, but imagine it's like daydreaming. So you're here, but your mind is wandering off, right? And you're someplace else. So you see, but you're still here, but you're someplace else. And you're seeing a scene playing out in your mind, in your mind's eye, right? So what this woman is seeing in her mind's eye is this horse galloping through the snow, right? So that's one way to receive, and that's a really kind of a cool way. So what might happen is your dog, all of a sudden you see a picture in your mind, or I won't talk about it. You see a picture in your mind of a blue ball or a red ball. That's what your dog is trying to communicate with you. They want you to go play with the red ball, or maybe that's their favorite toy. So that's one way to receive. Second, another way, your sense of hearing. So you might hear something like, let's say you hear the rumble of thunder, or you hear breaking glass. You hear a sound of some kind, but there is nothing like that happening around you. I would go really big, but you can't see my arms. So if it's something that wasn't in your surroundings, but you hear it really clearly, it's probably from the animal or the being that you're trying to communicate with. So you can hear telepathically. Your sense of smell. So all of a sudden you smell fried chicken, or you smell the scent of a cigar. For those of us that remember when back in the days when people smoked, you smell something that's very earthy. And you're not outside. You're not smelling, there's nothing in your surroundings. Kind of like you smell a perfume. But there's nobody anywhere around you. That's probably coming from the animal. And often what happens is the smell comes and then it goes away. So that's another way. Sense of taste. What? Yeah, so all of a sudden, like you're sitting right here and you taste, okay, chicken. But it has some other flavors with it. Or you taste chocolate. But you're not eating chocolate and you don't have chocolate around you anywhere. So it's coming from somebody else. You can get a physical sensation in your body. So you're perfectly warm. And all of a sudden you get the shivers. And you feel like, God, it feels like there's a draft in here, but there's not. And you're shivering all over. That's coming from, in our case, we want to talk to the animals. It's coming from the animal. So you can receive all kinds of sensations in your body. You could get chills. You could get hot flashes. And you're like, wait, I'm not having a hot flash and it's not hot here. Oh, they're trying to show me that. Also, you can receive an emotion. So you're feeling great. And all of a sudden, you're communicating with this animal. You feel really sad, like you're almost in tears. Or you're feeling giddy. You can't stop laughing. And you're like, well, there wasn't anything funny that happened. That's coming from the animal. Another way, and to me, this is the most important way, is that gut feeling. So how many times do you negate your gut feeling? I just have a feeling. I feel like it's true. Oh, this can't be right. So I love this one. It says, trust your gut. That gut feeling, it's down in your belly. It's that sense of knowing that is your truth. And that's where the animals live. So remember, interspecies telepathic communication. Telepathic is feeling at a distance. So this sense of knowing coming from, you receive information coming from the animal. And like I mentioned with that baby, how do you know that baby is hungry as opposed to tired? You just know. That is the most powerful way to receive telepathic information. So that's all the different ways that you can receive interspecies telepathic communication from another being. Maybe it's your animal. Maybe it's from another being. but that's the ways that it receives. So you will find one or a few ways that it comes for you, and somebody else is going to have a different way. Nobody's right or wrong. It's just your way. It does, don't let anybody tell you that your way is wrong, because your way is unique to you and it's perfect. So how does it work? So just really quick, I could go into a lot of details, but as I said in the beginning, this is the universal language, the silent language that we are trying to remember. So let's pretend I want to communicate with you, but you speak Chinese and I don't have a clue. And you don't speak English. How are we going to communicate with each other? Well, there's two ways. You can learn the language. That takes a really long time to really become fluent in a language. Or you get a translator, right? So with Interspecies Telepathic Communication, you can get a translator or an animal communicator, like the people here on the left with the little white dog named Zen. Or you can take a class and you can learn yourself and practice. And you should practice with or without a class, but practice saying hello and listening to the hello back. So that's how it works. That's how you learn it. So I'd love, if anybody has any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Please put a Q in the comments. I hope that you have enjoyed learning what interspecies telepathic communication is, how it works. I'm here to tell you that you can do that. You can do this. Anybody can. Practice, practice, practice with lots of different animals. You can practice just by saying hello and listening for a hello back. Practice with every animal that you meet, even humans. We say it out loud, but see what happens if you just silently say hello. It's really, really fun. Practice with your friends. Hang out with animal lovers and like-minded people and practice. You can take a workshop. You can study privately with somebody. The importance here is, if you do work with somebody, find a really good ethical teacher, that will really work with you and help you learn all of the good stuff. But most important is to just have fun. And if you really want to learn more about interspecies telepathic communication for yourself, check out on my website and in the links just below, in the description and links below, I have a beginning on-demand animal communication workshop that I think you would really, really love. You can work at your own pace, take your time, but you practice with your own animals. You can do this. You're doing it already. So I just hope you just have a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed being with you. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for being an animal lover. I will see you next week. Take care, everybody. Have fun with your animals. Don't forget, life is always better with an animal, with our animal companions. So I will see you next week, or I'll see you around. Come to the cafe anytime. Bring your animals. Bye.